Welcome back. We want to take a deeper look at the federal budget and how it might affect maritimers. And joining us is Patrick Sullivan, President and CEO of the Halifax Chamber of Commerce. Good to see you. Good of you to come in.
Oh, thank you very much.
Because I think in the time that they dropped the budget and the time it would have taken you to get the studio was basically all the time you would have had to look at what's actually inside this thing.
So it was only 406 pages.
Only 406 pages. I know you haven't had a lot of time to digest this. None of us have. But your initial look at what you've seen come out of this, how do you think this will be received by your members in the Chamber of Commerce?
I think our members of the Chamber will be happy about this budget. Certainly the deficit is worrying, up to $78 billion from $36 billion or so last year. So that's a significant increase, but we are seeing some investment and some allowances on the tax side for accelerated investment in manufacturing and those sorts of things, and warehouse improvements, factory improvements, those kinds of things that will allow people to write off their investment more quickly, which businesses will like.
So this looks like Mark Carney for a long time has been talking about pivoting the economy.
Yes.
And this seems to be a budget of vision. Not a lot here for, and you've talked about this in the past, about the mom and pop shops,
right,
the small businesses that are really, some of them are really at the brink right now. Not necessarily anything here that may make tomorrow look a little rosier.
The biggest thing, I think, for us in Nova Scotia and in Halifax particularly is the significant investment in defence. I mean, we're going to see huge dollars spent in defence, and Halifax and Nova Scotia have almost 40% of the defence assets that the military has. We've got 10% of the military population here. We've got families. There's going to be a significant lift with over $80 billion in the military spent in the coming years, and then heading to a 5% of GDP, which will be over $100 billion a year. There's going to be a lot of investment. There's going to be more employment in the military. There's going to need to be more support. There's going to be more housing for the military. So for us in our little corner of the world, it's probably going to be, there's going to be some positives for sure.
Okay. Do you see new industry growth? One of the things that's been bandied about is whether a condition will be placed on that submarine procurement, which would require the supplier, be it South Korean or German, to do at least some of the work in Canada.
Well, there will be significant maintenance contracts. I'm unsure of the number, but I know it's in the billions of dollars every year for the submarines once they're all purchased, and that will have to go somewhere. Obviously, we can make a pitch that it should be right here, since we've got significant experience and a great dockyard and Irving shipyards and all those kinds of things. But I don't know where that's going to go at this point, but for sure there's investment coming there.
One of the things that the Liberals want to do, Mark Carney has been talking a lot about this, is boost productivity. There is something, I want to make sure I get the wording right, something, $110 billion super deduction. They want to attract $50 billion in private investment. Is that the way to go about it?
Yeah, so that's certainly one way. It will encourage companies to invest in their businesses. It'll encourage them to invest in the building. It'll encourage them to invest in manufacturing equipment that hopefully will improve productivity. Canada has been in a real productivity drag, if you will, the last 10 years. We haven't seen productivity improvements, and we need to see those productivity improvements to keep up with the rest of the world, but particularly the United States.
One thing that didn't get a lot of attention, but it is in there, the so-called Wind West project that Premier Tim Houston of Nova Scotia is extremely bullish on, is mentioned in there as a project that's going to need funding, and one that Ottawa seems to like. How would that shake down in terms of work? And, we always go back to jobs.
Well, I think there would be significant investment required. I was just reading the strategic plan, which is available for download, of Wind West today. But there's a significant opportunity for jobs, for offshore assets, for investment in the boats and the human resources that are going to be required to support those windmills. So there's lots of opportunity for growth there. I think, though, it's on kind of the second tier of projects. The first tier is some of the ports that have already been committed to, and some other projects that the government is looking to accelerate more quickly.
So when you talk to employers, companies, manufacturers in this region, what's their prognosis? How are they feeling about things?
Well, I think in this region, we're actually doing pretty well. I mean, the unemployment rate in Nova Scotia is around 6.2%. In Toronto, it's 8.9% right now. It's really, that's staggering when you think about it, that Toronto has a significantly higher unemployment rate than Nova Scotia does. So we're actually doing okay in our area. We haven't been nearly as impacted as some companies have been in Ontario or in Quebec or in New Brunswick with softwood lumber. So, you know, we're doing a little bit better, but we can certainly use some of the investments that are required.
We're talking about how the budget is shaking down and affecting Atlantic Canadians and maritimers in particular, and here's a good example, and it's more political than it is business related, but Chris d'Entremont, the MP for Annapolis-Acadie, out of the southwestern Nova Scotia, has been kicked out. We have confirmed, CTV News has confirmed, has been kicked out of the Conservative caucus. He had talked about potentially crossing the floor and joining Mark Carney in the Liberal Party. We will certainly stay on the top of that and find out what's behind it, and hope to hear from Mr. d'Entremont in the coming hours. Patrick Sullivan, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Todd. Appreciate it, and I'm sure there'll be lots of news reported in the budget in the next few hours and days.
Lots to talk about. We will take a break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.